Welcome to the Motormouth YouTube channel. I'm Zach.
I'm Andrea.
And if you watch our full-length videos, you know halfway through we stop for a segment called Questions, Coffee, and Cars. We've spun it off. We're at 128. How do you get a question in?
Follow along on Instagram at Motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday morning, I put a post out on Instagram asking for questions. Once we gather our questions, the post is deleted and we start the show.
Time now for Questions, Coffee, and Cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
Hi, really curious if Audi will bring the A3 Sportback hatchback to Canada. We are a hatchback nation. Got to drive the A3 Sportback overseas and like the size and feel for a city car. Plus, they're getting a really impressive plug-in hybrid.
We had that plug-in hybrid hatchback for a long time. And yeah, not sure why they just went all sedan. It's based on the Golf. So if you love a hatchback, you could just get a GTI.
Yeah, that's true.
If you get an S, just trying to think it out. Yeah, the S3 is basically the GTI. Or is that the R? It's the R, I think, yeah.
So I don't think we're going to be getting a hatchback here. I would like one too. I'm with you. I love the look of it. The A3 looks interesting for 2025. It got a nice update for sure. Let me know what you guys think about that, the grille in the front. There's a bit of, I don't know, it's like a solid piece that goes across. I'm not sure I love it, but I like the A3 in general for driving dynamics.
Well, Audi sales have been really slow because their cars are old. Yeah. Like the Q7 is ancient. The Q5 has just been announced and will be coming soon. That car has been in market for a long time. The Q3 has been in market for a long time. They're going to replace that. Then you look at vehicles like the A3. So they've left their main car lines in the market, in my opinion, for too long. Yes, they focused on the electric cars, but they're having to turn their attention back to the mainline production cars because that's what sells.
And also Audi can struggle with reliability as well. So some people are leery to jump into an Audi because of that. So no hatchback, but a Q3 is coming,
and
GTI. The A3 looks pretty good. I like the interior. Thoughts on the new Macan EV? I would love one, but the dollars, worth it? Availability? We don't know about availability, but
yeah, it's coming now. You have to look at it like the power output of the electric is so much higher with the torque and all that they've priced it high. But if you do a sort of comparison to what you would get with a gas model, to get that kind of performance, you'd have to go to like a turbo or a GTS. So yeah, that's the logic at Porsche.
We did a walk around at the New York Auto Show of this EV, and I think it looks good, but it's expensive. It starts at $95,000 Canadian. And then if you look at the Macan base model, which isn't really comparable power-wise, it's around $73,000 Canadian. So it's a substantial difference for sure in price. And then you have to ask yourself, am I going to make that up in fuel before the vehicle gets maybe too old or you want to trade it in?
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't always work for everybody.
The big problem, and we just have to look over at Taycan, that is a sedan though, so it is a slightly different situation. Yeah. Sales of the Taycan went like this. Everybody that had to get one got one, and now they've gone like this. Yeah. And then what also has gone like this is the resale value of Taycan in the marketplace, not so much in Canada, but in places like Europe and the UK, the resale value of those is horrendous. And that maybe will give some people pause as to what they're going to do with Macan EV. But I think Macan will probably hold up better because it is the form function people want, an SUV.
Maybe. I mean, I'm looking at different EVs. Viewers are interested in one that's a couple years old, and they just appreciate so fast, quickly. Like, I feel sorry for the original owner who's trading that in. Leasing is a good option, but with Porsche, you've got higher interest rates, and those monthly payments really get up there.
Yeah.
Regular viewer of your channel, throw some light on the Honda CR-V recalls and is for model year 2025 as well.
Sticky steering, Andrea. Explain sticky steering.
Yeah, sticky. Well, the steering gearbox needs to be replaced. So it just gives you quite a heavy feel, and it's more difficult to move the steering wheel. Now, this is affecting Honda and Acura models. So they're working on that with the recall. Maybe not every vehicle, but some vehicles. And then there's also other issues that are affecting the CR-V hybrid, the Accord hybrid, the Accord gas model, as well as the
new
Civic
Civic.
hybrid. So 2 more recalls on top of that sticky steering, a defective high pressure fuel pump part that may have cracks, which can cause fuel to leak and smell while idling or driving, increasing the risk of fire. And then there's the faulty high voltage battery. Some of the battery's negative terminals may be defective and break, which could cause sparks that may lead to a fire.
And just because there's a recall, and this is the same for any brand, doesn't mean that it affects your car, and it doesn't mean that your car is bad. Recalls are just a part of the auto industry. They affect all brands. So if you have one of these vehicles, work with your dealer, get it in. It's all free, and get it done. I don't think this is, put it this way. Okay, Andrea, there's a shiny new Honda Civic Hybrid. Are you going to not buy it because it has had a couple of recalls?
No, I'm still going to buy it. And I think that's the problem with new vehicles when they come out. Sometimes there's some tweaks that need to be made, something's not working properly, recalls, or sometimes it can just affect your vehicle alone and it could be something else. So I think that you just have to keep an open mind if you're buying one of these newer models in the first year. Here's one for you. How do you suggest a person get over a terrible experience with a manufacturer? We're talking Super Lemon from years past, if they want to get back into the market but are nervous of that same brand. Even if the vehicle they are leaning towards is in that family and it rhymes with heavy.
Rhymes with heavy.
Chevy.
So Chevy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the thing is, these hangovers from decades ago are still there. You know, all the comments that we get on Chevrolet, Ford, anything domestic really, people just dump all over them. They go, they're absolute crap. Who would buy that S-Box? You know the word I'm saying. But the question I always have is, when was the last time you actually drove a new model Chevrolet? Was it 20 years ago? Because I'm here to tell you, a lot changes in 20 years.
I can understand the reluctancy for sure. You've had a really crummy vehicle. Maybe you were in and out of the shop all the time. It's frustrating. We've had one of those too, and it's no fun when you can't get where you need to go. I think what I would recommend, if you are nervous about the brand, but you're interested in the new vehicles that are coming out, why don't wait a year? See how it goes. You could always lease. That might be a better option. So after the 3-year mark and you say, I don't like this, I'm giving it back. But buying a vehicle, I wouldn't recommend buying a brand new model
Yes.
when you've experienced this before, because I think almost you're setting yourself up for failure with possible issues. Doesn't mean you'll have issues, but possible issues. So why not wait it out a year, 2 years, see how it's doing in the market, and then go from there.
Yeah, and all we can tell you is that we are impressed with a lot of the new Chevrolet products. I think they're well designed. They have a lot of standard equipment, or even to get higher equipment, you don't have to go to the top model to get a nicely equipped model. They drive well. The design, I think, is strong from Chevrolet right now. So they're doing a lot right. They're impressing us. The hangover about quality is definitely something you're going to have to get past. But if you just look at the quality scores, just the actual data, they are improving.
We were at the Chevrolet Tahoe and Suburban event, and Chevrolet told us they cannot keep the tracks in stock. One comes in and it's out, they're on order, because there's just so much value there. And it's the same with the Traverse. So I think that they are producing great products. People are definitely interested in them. They like all of the extra standard features that they offer and the value. But we don't know. We review new cars. So unless we are driving a brand new Chevrolet and we're keeping it for 10 years, we won't know until the 10-year mark how reliable and how it holds up. Great show, guys. We love watching your shows. We're from the GTA area, and I'm in the market for a 3-row SUV. Hard to find a top spec vehicle with a 2nd-row bench seat. What would be your recommendation between a Lexus TX 350h, Acura MDX? I did like your first look of the Ford Expedition, but apprehensive about Ford's reliability. What do you think?
Well, let's just go through the vehicles that have a top spec with a bench seat. So GTA, by the way, is the Greater Toronto Area. So that's Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So let's go through. So you're in a higher snack bracket, obviously, if you're looking at the TX.
Yes, and there aren't many 3-row SUVs, as you mentioned, that offer a bench seat on the top trim. There's the Volkswagen Atlas. Offers a bench seat on all trims. The Ford Explorer offers a bench seat on all trims except for one, the Platinum model. If you get the twin turbo V6, that gets captain's chairs. And in the US for the Explorer, the ST model has captain's chairs. So some different things, but most of the trims do come with a bench seat.
Then you get Honda, right? So you've got the Honda, and then you can get the Acura MDX, also with a removable middle seat in the back, which is a great solution. So if you like the idea of a premium brand, the MDX is going to be hard to beat, and they've updated it nicely with a new screen, so you get the premium feel and you get the extra space. It's the 3rd row in that one isn't that big. I'm just trying to think of others that, the Chevy Traverse comes with a bench seat as well on the higher trims.
Yeah, not on all trims though, and not on the highest trim, but more selection there for sure. You know, you've put the TX hybrid in, which is a great vehicle. It certainly gets up there in price. And then you've put the MDX, which is going to meet your needs of having a bench seat across all trims.
But not fuel economy.
I was just going to say, but it's not going to meet your needs on fuel economy. And anyone who owns an MDX will chime in here and tell you that the fuel economy is not great on it. So you've really got to consider that. As far as I understand off the top of my head, that top trim comes with captain's chairs. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it offers that bench seat either.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some good products out there. There's biggies, as we mentioned, like you're looking at the Atlas, the Traverse. They're all some of the biggest in the class. The TX is definitely going to give you the best fuel economy. So if you're motivated by fuel economy, that's the one you're going to want to get.
Most definitely. I currently drive a 2018 Ford EcoSport with the 2-liter 4-cylinder with 84,000 miles. I'm thinking about trading it in this spring. I'm looking at used vehicles, 2020 to 2024 right now, in the 30,000 to 35,000 US price range. And I'm very interested in the Ford Edge, the Ford Bronco Sport, Subaru Forester, and the Kia Sportage. I live in upstate New York near the Canadian border and need something that's good on gas and is good in the snow. Would like to know yours and Zach's thoughts. Any other suggestions?
You know I go off on long questions, but I will give you extra points for being very detailed with the cars you're looking at. Because how many times do you read the question and I go, well, I don't know, what kind of car do you want?
Very specific.
So
yeah.
that was good. These are good. So read the Fords again they're looking at.
Okay, Ford Edge.
Ford Edge.
Ford Bronco Sport.
Bronco Sport, I like the Bronco
Subaru
Sport.
Forester, and the Kia Sportage. Good all-wheel drive, good for the snow.
All right, so I'm going to say the Edge is discontinued, right? So that's going away. The Bronco Sport with the Outer Banks that has the high-speed all-wheel drive, high-speed suspension system for northern climates with potholed roads and rutted roads, that thing eats up the bumps like you wouldn't believe. And it's proven to be very reliable.
Yeah, by the way, he also threw in good on gas and
so
good in the snow.
The Bronco Sport would be pretty good on gas. It's got the 1.5 liter engine, right?
Yeah, our neighbor has the Edge. She's had it for a very, very long time, and she's a big fan. That's actually quite a good-sized vehicle. I really like the look of the Bronco Sport, and I like that EcoBoost engine for sure. The Kia Sportage, you could get a hybrid option, which is going to take care of your gas. The all-wheel drive system is good with the Kia, and the Subaru Forester has a great all-wheel drive system too, but you will find that maybe it has a lack of power compared to the 2-liter EcoBoost.
But if you're
from
not in a
Ford.
rush, you're going to get the hybrid model coming next year, which might give it a bit of a bump in power. So it's going to be based on the Toyota hybrid system modified for Subaru's needs. So that in the Toyota world gets 219 horsepower, which will make the Forester a little more lively to drive. I don't know. The one you might want to consider also is the Subaru Outback, which I think is fantastic. All right, of those ones, I mean, they're all fine products. I would take the Edge out just because it's orphaned now, right? It's canceled. As much as I love the other ones, I think probably the Hyundai for fuel economy is going to be the winner.
That's what I would do, or I agree with you. Go for the Outback Wilderness model. You can get the more powerful engine. You won't find that there's a lack of power. And the Wilderness model isn't the prettiest girl at the dance, that's for sure. So you have to like that look.
But you don't have to get the Wilderness. You can just get the regular Outback.
You could get it.
You don't have to get the ugly one. You can just get, I think you just get the regular one.
I think they're both kind of...
They're okay. Subaru doesn't make good looking cars. They just make appliances.
I
That's
think
what they
I would
make.
wait, if you're not in a rush, I think I would wait for the Forester Hybrid. I'm really excited about that one. And then you'll get some good fuel economy. Hi, great channel and reviews. I currently own an X5, but thinking to switch to a non-premium SUV or EV like the Blazer EV. Do you guys have any suggestions? So this is a not as detailed
Yeah, but they've given us specific cars.
Yes, and
so
non-premium.
The X5 is a great product. We're big fans of the X5. You could also get the plug-in X5 and go kind of halfway. And they've improved the range on the plug-in X5, and we thought it was very good. But yeah, you have to decide. This is a real gut check for you. Do you want to make the leap to an EV? There's nothing wrong with that. If you're ready for that, then the Blazer is a good choice. I just think that the Equinox EV is way better value.
Yeah, and I would say there are other options for you to choose from. You've got the Acura RDX. If you said non-premium though, SUV. So it's tough. I don't know if you need the same size as the X5. I think if you were to have your top 5 on your list, including those EVs, that you could, once you drive them, you're going to know exactly what you like and what you don't like. I'm thinking if you want an EV, you're looking for something that's fuel efficient, you might want to look at hybrids. You could get something like the Kia Sportage hybrid. You could look at the CX-50 hybrid.
Yeah, but the one thing I just want to say about size. Okay, so you've got an X5. The Blazer, because it's got the long wheelbase and it's got the battery at the bottom, you get a load of space on the inside on EVs because the wheelbase is so long. So extra good legroom and pretty good trunk space. What they do is they crop the roof though.
And I also find the Blazer EV to be expensive. So,
Yeah, so
I don't know, you're saying about the X5, I'm thinking that you want to move away from a premium or a luxury brand because you want something that's a little less money. Another EV
the Equinox, the Blazer and the
Equinox.
Equinox are on the same platform, and the Equinox is selling incredibly well because it's cheaper. I mean, people are pretty smart with their money. So if you're thinking about the Blazer, you can get a fully loaded Equinox.
We haven't driven the Equinox yet, but when we were at the Chevrolet event for Tahoe and Suburban, we were carted around in an EV Equinox, and the suspension is quite firm on it. It doesn't feel as smooth as I thought it would be. I think the Blazer is better for that. So you have to drive them. You've got to drive them and see.
One more question, Andrea. We're up against the clock here.
Considering an electric vehicle, but with the harsh winters here out east, I'm concerned with the battery replacement and impacts of rust and corrosion. Can you explain how car companies protect the battery from salt snow deterioration, especially considering where they are placed on the vehicles? Well, electric vehicles have that skateboard platform, so you've got the battery sitting underneath the vehicle. But there is a secure plate that goes over that. I would not be concerned about rust and corrosion, but you have to remember if you do impact that plate, that could impact the battery, and then that's where you can run into problems.
Yeah, the battery is sealed, right? It's sealed in its own case, and usually it's made of aluminum. because it needs to be light, right? It needs to be strong. So they're usually covered in aluminum. So that's not an issue. The only way you might be able to get some corrosion are the plugs that plug into it, but they wouldn't be that hard to replace, I wouldn't think. So I wouldn't worry too much about corrosion with the battery pack. Yeah, so it's the same thing. You've got to decide whether you're ready to do that leap to go to full EV and just get in there knowing that you're one of the first to buy. These are all first generation EVs.
Yeah, and also hybrids and plug-in hybrids, you don't have to worry about those. They're actually in the car under the seat, whether it's in the rear or they've put it in the cargo area. So you don't have to worry about those. The battery in those vehicles are much smaller than in a pure EV.
There was a situation though with the RAV4 hybrid where the orange cable was corroding.
Yes.
It's called Cablegate. Everything they put gate on everything, Andrea. What if there was a faulty with a gate? Would it be gate? Anyway.
Gate. No. I don't think so.
So if it was Bill Gates, would it be Gates Gate? Anyway,
Yes, it would be.
All right, so that was a problem. They changed the part. If it fails, they will remedy it up to a certain number of years, and there you go. But yeah, that's the one vehicle we've heard where the problem with corrosion has been the RAV4.
But not specifically the battery.
No,
where
the cable.
The problem was, it was the cable.
Cablegate.
Now, a few of you have sent me some direct messages about our last Questions, Coffee, and Cars, and how Zach requested spaghetti and meatballs, and did he get it?
No, I didn't.
He did not get it because it was Canadian Thanksgiving, and we had a load of turkey leftover, so instead, he got leftovers.
And I love
turkey, mashed potatoes,
I love it.
stuffing,
All of it.
roasted carrots, roasted
Peas.
cauliflower, yes.
I love it all.
Dessert.
Actually,
we had a pumpkin pie, an apple pie. So
And the
he
thing
was
is,
well taken care
the
of.
problem is some people don't like leftovers, and I love leftovers. I think everything tastes better the next day, and I love a big plate of turkey and all the fixings the next day. And if I'm lucky, I can stretch that for 3 and 4 days if there's a lot of leftovers.
And
I love it.
also my mom, we give her the carcass, and she just keeps on giving with turkey pot pies.
Love it.
So we're
Don't
pretty
worry.
fortunate there with Monica because
I'll be
she's
lobbying.
She's an amazing baker, and she, oh my gosh, her crust is to die for. Pure butter.
Don't worry. I'm always lobbying for the spaghetti and meatballs. I'll get there. Don't you?
We have been traveling a lot.
Don't you guys worry about me. I'm well fed.
He's really well fed. I
All
do
right.
the cooking every night.
We're up against the clock. I do some barbecuing.
Yes, he does some barbecue.
And I load the dish. And how about you guys at home? Do you load the dishwasher? Because that's my jam.
Yeah.
I don't cook, but I'm the cleanup guy. So right below, are you the dishwasher stacker? Because nobody in my house can do it better than me. I stack that thing within an inch of its life.
I said to our family, I would love a night where I wasn't cooking and I was just the one to clean up. No one's
Do you know how that would
me
go?
up. No one's taking me up.
You want me to
on
make
that
dinner?
offer.
You want me to make dinner? Yeah, I'd like to order a pizza. Oh, you have the address. Okay, yeah. All right.
I am
All right.
the cook.
All right. We are all done, Andrea. How do you get a question in?
Follow along on Instagram at motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday morning, I put a post out asking for questions. Once we gather our questions, the post is deleted and we start the show.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.